Kennen. Now, if you don't want to ban Thresh, I can see it because you maybe try and get it in your first rotation, depending on what else is left open. So that's what they're doing now. We know Fnatic will look at things like Thresh, Kennen, Zac as potential first picks. Right now, all three are left open. So G2 are trying to see if they can maybe get two in a trade for just one of those really, really high tier picks in this matchup. Now, I'd still just ban Kennen here for pure safety, out of respect for Fnatic, but they're actually getting rid of Zac, so they're trying to challenge Fnatic here and saying, do you want to first pick Kennen?
They do.
And surprise, everyone, surprise, surprise, Fnatic wants to first pick Kennen.
All right, so we'll see what G2 want to answer with.
They have to take Thresh. They have to take Thresh here almost, because then they can also lane that against Zyra. So that is the adaptation for them. They're saying, we are okay taking giving away Kennen, so they can play Kennen Zyra again, but we want Thresh on our side, so we can play around bot lane. Because you can flash Flay on Thresh so easily and just gank the Zyra here. So a ganking jungler early would also make a lot of sense with it. That could be a trick Lee Sin.
Looks like that's likely going to be the case, so they're setting themselves up to be able to match some of that early pressure and challenge Fnatic. Can you do it again when we have a different set of champions?
But if you're Fnatic, you just get Shen Kha'Zix once again. Like, that can literally just be your next two picks, and then you have almost the exact same combo as the last game. Yes, you might lose to Zyra in the ban phase, but you still get Shen for Source, which is his best pick, and we know how well it works with the Kennen top lane here. So Fnatic have the option to literally just get the exact same champions.
Well, why not? If it worked once, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So as the timer ticks down, they lock in the Kha'Zix to match Trick on Lee Sin. Or to match, to match Trick on Lee Sin. I debated myself that time.
Yeah. No.
But I really want to see what they end up following up with. If it's, I mean, it should be the Shen, but what else are they going to build around this comp?
I mean, it's only if they really want Zyra, they would take her right now and then say, you know what, we don't want her to get banned away, but just take exactly what worked for you the last game and 3 comfort picks for Broxas, Soas, and of course, Reckless in the bottom lane. So G2 are giving the comfort picks away once again, saying they can play around them. It's not going to be a random Yasuo login from Perkz.
Sorry, Vedius.
He always talks about it. We can see it as a counter pick later on, maybe, but you're not going to blind pick the Yasuo.
No, but what they are going to do is add a little bit more pressure up top. Expect on the Croc. It's all locked in as we enter ban phase 2. We'll see if he can bring enough pressure. Last time on the Jace, he was bullying, but Soaz was able to hang tough and turn it right around.
Yeah, there's a Zyra ban we mentioned, obviously getting rid of that, so Fnatic won't have the same lane pressure, but G2 are trying to get multiple winning lanes here. They're gonna have Renekton on top, winning against the Shen. They have ganking early jungler, and they have the Thresh bot lane to try and set up a strong lane with Sven. They can also last pick 4 Perkz to try and set up a winning mid lane, or just take the blind pick Orianna if they want that, and Perkz should also be fine in almost every single matchup Fnatic can actually put him in. And this means now G2 eSports might find themselves with multiple strong pushing lanes.
Well, that could be exactly what they need to try and counteract Fnatic in the early game. They ban out a handful of supports. Once again, it's the Blitzcrank and also the Zyra's ban. Jez is going to have to try something a little bit different.
I want to see if Orianna's left open here, and that is just going to be the lock-in for Perkz if he wants that as a blind pick.
No, it's banned.
Okay, so I like the ban. Fnatic banning the champion for this exact reason. Now probably shifts a last pick mid laner then for Perkz, and you can pick your AD carry instead, because you already know it's going to be Kennen AD carry on the side of G2. Always the small things in pick a man phase. Very interesting.
Oh yeah, a lot of things change, and Sven really thinking if he wants to take a favorite of his, the Kalista, so many strong AD carries left up and available. What will he play off against Reckless's Kennen? And he locks the Twitch, a champion that Reckless loves himself.
Okay, so Sven here once again, scaling. Wants to try and be able to match some of the roaming from Fnatic here. Strong team fight being set up by G2. Blind pick here for Caps in the mid lane. We've seen Victor a few times come in as a blind pick. The other choices kind of limited, actually with Talia banned as well for the current mid lane pool. I'm always a sucker for that Aurelion Soul, just putting it out there, but...
25 seconds to find out, Deficio. Brom's locked in though first.
Yeah, LeBlanc is also available if you want to go full on skirmish, and we have seen that blind picked in the past by Fnatic to just kind of sit in mid and wave clear, but then be able to join side lanes fast. And that seems to be the choice for Caps.
All right, Fnatic toying with the idea. Will they go for it? Will they give Caps tools to try and shut down Perkz in mid? They're going to lock it.
So Perks gets that counter pick we mentioned to try and get multiple strong lanes for G2 eSports. Rise has fallen out of favor a bit, a former strong pick against the LeBlanc. Now this is something we saw Faker play at MSI, and level 1 just out-trade Mabel. Win the lane by 50, 60 CS. Perks are trying to do the same in this matchup.
He's got a lot of power. Between everybody on that team, G2 are going to have some serious damage early, not to mention a decent bit late. Fnatic, well, they are going to be in for a rougher ride than we saw in game number 1, that's for sure. It was a quick one.
Yeah.
I think this one might go a little longer, Officio.
And if I saw this draft and it wasn't against Fnatic, I would say, wow, G2 eSports, fantastic. You just got super strong lanes, a lot of ways you can play out this game, good scaling as well, good team fight. But when you play against Fnatic, when you give away Shen and Cannon, there's always that massive risk that you fall behind early and they just split push everything. They just play so aggressive in the side lanes. No other team in Europe would actually be able to execute that draft against what G2 eSports picked. But let's see if Fnatic can do that. I actually think G2 came out quite well in this pick and ban phase.
Well, it's all up to execution. If that is the case, Fnatic will see if they can do it again and take down the Kings of Europe. Trying to reclaim their own title at some point later down the line of this split, but G2 eSports set up for success in the early game. Can Fnatic hang on? Can they make the outplay? They got themselves the Kennen and Shen once again. Still some comfort for these guys, that's for sure, but G2 eSports, they're not lacking for it as well. We'll see who is able to take it. Who's gonna rock the rift? We're gonna find out. Do G2 fire back? Are they ready to go, or is Fnatic gonna make this day a 2-0? We're hearing some noise. It always happens when Fnatic's on the rift, but G2, they're not lacking for fans these days. We're ready to rock and roll, so let's hit the rift already.
We always want 3 games when we have Fnatic versus G2, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the Fnatic fans would be happy with the 2-0 as well. Right now, the G2 fans just want to see a nice comeback from their team. And we mentioned it in the draft here, G2 trying to set up multiple winning lanes. Once again, pressure mid from Perks, top lane in favor of Expect. But Fnatic's level 6 play with the Shen ulti will be key.
Well, you saw it on display in the last game. G2 have to be wise to this. No tricks to start the game off, although there is a ward placed by G2 inside the Raptor pit. If Cap strays close enough, they'll have eyes on him.
And last time at MSI when we saw the Cassiopeia versus LeBlanc, actually let's talk about it after, because as you guys can see,
we've corrected history.
We have corrected it. Of course, Fnatic deserves to get on that graphic for the 2015. And we once again take a look at the 2 organizations who's been dominating EU LCS. Only Alliance in there with 1 win, and then it's all Fnatic, G2 eSports. And this split, well, favorites to win the whole thing, G2. And then right after, you look at Fnatic and maybe Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, starting to look like a great start to the split for Fnatic, especially. There was some rough patches for this team. They didn't always have the right lineup to have the right success. Missing out on Worlds never a great thing, but they are ready to come back, and they've been looking stronger and stronger.
It's kind of the thing about 2016 is not only did Fnatic not win the titles, they also got to see G2 just kind of take over Europe. And Fnatic didn't have a roster that could really challenge almost anything. And it was a rough year for Reckless as well. He talked a lot about it. Didn't want to be on a team, once again, that didn't have any progression, that couldn't really challenge for the #1 spot. And now, once again, he has a lineup that can actually play for first place.
Mm-hmm. And they went through some adversity as well. Remember, this Fnatic squad in spring at the beginning, didn't have everything they needed. Starting out having to swap into Broxa in the jungle and
some of the worst
some coaches
drafts,
as well.
Yeah.
They just did not have a lot going for them. But then they put together this incredible run. While at the same time, Rocket was doing that and almost knocked them out of playoffs.
It's actually true, yeah. It is definitely true. Now Caps is still under pressure a little bit, but as I tried to say before here, what has changed a little bit in this matchup is Doran's shield is introduced, which does help LeBlanc a little bit in the early game with sustain against some other trading from Cassiopeia, because Cassiopeia is not a mage that will burst you down in like a second. It's sustained DPS. Get a few hits down, back away, do the same thing over and over, and that's where Doran's shield really kicks in. Caps now feeling confident.
Throws the chains on. Ooh, Perk's down to half his health bar right now. A few more love taps, and he's feeling pretty confident, I should say.
But already lost the 2 potions anyway because of the early trading from Perks. Obviously, with TP on Caps means that he can actually just push out the lane and then TP back if needed. So he's going to be fine in terms of CS. It is not a Faker versus Maple scenario.
We'll see where the junglers get involved. Last time Broxah wasn't able to do a whole lot, but with pushing lanes across the board for G2, you got to think Trick is going to have a harder time getting involved. Broxah will have his pick of the litter. Yeah,
so what's important also now about like Renekton being back in the meta, first of all, on 7-11, we reverted some of the changes we made to him in terms of the animation cancelling, and he's just in a much better spot right now. We already saw him play though in LCK on 7-10, actually fairly decent success from him, but what's important with Renekton is winning lane by 20 CS is not enough. You need to have your jungler and your mid laner often also try and play around that top lane, dive the enemy top lane and take top tower, and always try to be like an item ahead in the game when you play this champion here. So that's definitely what G2 will look to try and do, and you want to make sure that if Soaz ever leaves lane with TP, he loses tower. That is the objective, the goal for this Renekton. Never let Soaz go go bot lane and not lose anything.
G2 trying to position themselves to make the trades. It's bottom lane starting out a little bit quieter than we might have expected, but Broxah is ready to join the fray. However, there is a ward that spots him out clutch there, placed by Mithy, but Jez is looking to go in, sends the Winter's Bite, but Dark Passage and he's out.
Yeah, you're not afraid of a 3 level 6 gank bot lane here. Jez needs his ulti so he can jump in, land the first knock-up, and then Reckless can follow with his ulti, and then you have the chain CC that actually allows Broxah and Soaz to join a fight. Early on, it's very easy for Mithy to stand behind his AD carry, use the Lantern, and pull him back out.
Yeah. Still, though, we'll have to question if giving up this Kennen once again to Reckless was the right call for G2. We saw it a minute ago. He's been on quite the win streak with it.
You can give it to every single team in the world. We talk about AD carry Kennen. And you're going to be fine with it. You have multiple AD carries you can pick against it, and you're not afraid. Reckless is the only person where you're like, damn, this man knows how to play this champion to perfection. And now you get a little bit scared every time you see Kennen in the game for Reckless.
He's able to do a whole lot of things, pushing the boundaries of what that champion is capable of, and Soaz there to support him on the Shen. It's been a pretty brutal combo. Still, we got plenty of time to play in this game. As Trick waiting in the wings, looking to see if he can pick off Caps, but he's playing safe. Yeah,
Trick has no camps he can actually kill. Grump just spawned, so he's trying to assist his lanes a little bit without really ganking. He just wants Perkz to be able to push out because Perkz didn't manage to go back and get a tier yet. Very important for Caps to go a tier.
Actually going in. Oh, flashing forward, not enough damage to finish the job, but Caps is able to do it. And now Trick finds himself without a friend in mid. Broxah a little low, but it doesn't matter. Trick's gonna have to flash the wall just out of respect. First blood to Fnatic.
Yeah, and we just, talked about Perkz, didn't manage to get an early tier, so he was sitting there and he's like, I need help pushing out, but I have no mana left. I can't actually really do a whole lot in my lane right now. So when Trick joins to try and help him, Broxah just did exactly the same thing. And they saw the really low HP Cassiopeia and just jumped for it because Perkz couldn't fight back. Great aggression from Broxah and Caps in the mid lane.
Yeah, nicely played there. Now Soaz is going to be able to TP back into lane, and all of the chaos he had backed out and expect was wailing away at the tower. Still, Soaz has been able to hold his own. But we'll check back in with the bottom lane because while Reckless is down in the CS right now, he's definitely been holding his own, and we saw what he was able to do last game on this Kennen. We'll get back to that in a minute. Here's the replay.
Yeah, so basically you see Perkz want to push out the lane with Trick, but as soon as Trick has used cooldowns and Perkz is not really strong enough to take a fight without any items at this point here, Broxah just sees the opportunity, jumps right in, forces the flash, and now Perkz on his own. Like actually just a kind of unexpected engage from Broxah, at least if you are Perkz and Trick right there, and they just get so surprised.
Yeah. Caps really pulling out all the stops for sure. He teleports back into lane, and he's got himself a CS advantage. We'll take a look back up in the top as Expect is going to have to slice his way out of danger. Soaz really playing well around the taunt into minion waves. Expect having a hard time dealing with him, and as you said, you need to be winning with Renekton, not just by CS. You need people to play around you. Expect hasn't had that. His Trick has been busy mid.
Yeah, you need to take that tower down, or you need to join like a skirmish maybe on the other side where you use your strong mid game. Perkz actually, interestingly enough, did not buy the tier straight up. He needed the Ruby Crystal to get some HP to try and stay alive now that he's fallen behind in lane. As you can see, Caps.
Oh boy! Oh, Caps even dodges out of the petrifying gaze, and he says, what lane kingdom?
Yeah, this just hurts Perkz so much. He can't really trade with Caps. He's not getting early tier either, getting some HP instead to try and stay alive, so he's actually slowing down his own scaling. and it was his counter pick in mid, but that trade with Broxah Caps hurt him so much.
Caps already well working his way towards a lot more itemization, getting a lot of damage on this LeBlanc. You want to get up and ahead early, fits right into the Fnatic game plan, and it's working wonders. And now Broxah's going to have free reign once again on a Dragon to Cloud Drake. And
LeBlanc is a very interesting champion because she was obviously that perm ban pick that you had to just always get rid of. Then what kind of happened was that with LeBlanc as a pick, you know, she did receive a few nerfs and she wasn't as dominant as before, but she's still considered one of the best mid laners at getting an advantage and then use that advantage to take over the game. Purely based around your mobility into then some great damage with Q and of course your passive. So it is still extremely hard to play against her when she's ahead. And right now she's 20 CS ahead, and as we just talked about it, she starts roaming, and this is what LeBlanc can always do. Jump the walls, get to side lanes easily.
Well, no boots in the inventory. Caps was looking to make a pair out of that Crocodile, but Expect gets back to the safety of his tower, backing away. Checking back in with his mid lane. Perks does finally pick up the tier, but he might be crying before too long. Caps still pressuring him out. Even with that cleanse, he's got to be careful.
He's just stuck on the tower right now, Pyra, which also means the Kha'Zix suddenly has a lot of freedom on the map because he has the vision control. He can find Trick 1v1 him, go into the enemy jungle as well with LeBlanc following. You see that deep vision from Fnatic. Great setup. They know exactly where Trick is on the map. No chance for him to impact the lanes.
Yeah, we talked about G2 having winning lanes. They haven't been able to do it. And even in the bottom where we thought they might be able to counterplay a little bit, Rekkles and Jesus have held strong and really pulling very close in that CS game, and the way Rekkles and Jesus played last time, it's going to be tough for Sven and Mithy.
Bot lane was the only lane where G2 knew they wouldn't just get a massive advantage because they picked the Twitch. It was all about the solo laners. Now we see the 80 carries from last game. Obviously, Rekkles on
I missed
cannon.
the 6th kill. I thought he was like, oh, he's 5-0. Wait, no, he got another.
Got another kill. And once again, as we highlighted before, did not die. So currently sitting on a 3-game streak where he didn't die.
He's pretty good on that cannon. And other things as well. Once again on top, it's going to not be the 1v1 expected, and realize that Broxah was coming out of nowhere. It's continuing to be this threat. He was locked down last game, but this time he's definitely off the chain. Now Trick coming in for the counter. It's a little damage out onto Broxah, but Trick gets turned on as well. Oh, that's going to be the flash in. Expect sees the chance, and he closes the jaws. Broxah's gone down, and now Soaz under fire, under tower, and followed in by Trick. Can he finish off the kill? The shield is there. Trick just can't do it.
That's exactly what G2 needed, a win on top side around the Renekton, into the tower, going down as well now, Pyra. So suddenly you open up the lane here for Expect. He has the CS advantage we know Renekton will get, and now he also took down that tower due to Trick helping him. So really important for G2 to take that top lane advantage now and get quite a goal lead.
It's helping out for G2 in the early game, 1,000 plus.
Yeah, because you can't rely on Perks right now. He's out of it.
He's in trouble. So why not play around the guy that's strong up in the early game? It is going to be Expect. So he gets a kill on the board. They get the tower. Now we'll see where he ends up going. Let's take a look at that play as it unfolded again.
That was Broxah ganking Expect first. Trick then shows up. Remember, guys, there's no flash on this Kha'Zix. Trick goes and could even just kick flash instantly here and actually just guarantee the kill much earlier. But I guess it looks fancier when you kick the Shen to knock up the Kha'Zix.
Yeah,
and then
nice little tag team effort.
This actually makes it harder now for Fnatic as well to force that play bottom lane, because you can push Source all the way into his tier 2 tower and you don't want to lose it. But it's still an option with Kennen. Mithy most likely at this point will look to just play far back, and if he sees Kennen like lightning rush forward, you lantern out Sven because you know the Shen ulti is coming. Or they gank him again.
There we go, Trick coming on up, slow path, but he's going to run right into Soaz. Well, he knows he's in trouble right now. Not a whole lot of places for him to go, but he does dodge out the Sonic Wave. Trick's still on top of him here. Soaz is going to try to no taunt as he goes back into the Rift Herald pit. That didn't work out.
No, that was not what you looked to do.
He's still going to have to spend that flash.
But he's buying time. Like, there's 3 guys.
It was all a bait, Officio.
Ah, Trick. What was that? What was that kick? Fnatic will get bot lane tower now.
Start to even up that gold game here. Finished off thanks to Rekkles, Jesus, and Broxah. However, G2 are in prime position to take down the Rift Herald. This will help them when they want to go back into that mid lane, but that's seemingly a consolation prize considering they couldn't pick off Soaz. Now let's see what they're able to do a little bit more. 13 minutes now on the clock. The gold game is pretty darn close to even as Trick picks up Rift Herald.
All right, he gets something at least on the top side. He wanted another kill for that one because they just gave up that bot lane tower.
Yeah, that was, the geometry on that kick was a little bit off.
Yeah, definitely. I said earlier, Reckless didn't die 3 games in a row. Now that is a little bit wrong, but it's done in mid. He's hitting the wrong clone at first.
All right, but Perk's a little low. He's still able to churn some damage out. Cassiopeia trying to stack up and working their way a little bit further.
Yeah, got to change my stat here.
All
Reckless in 4 out of 5 games didn't die so
there we go.
far. Not in a row.
Still a lot of games.
Still a lot of games. Such a feat in that one game.
sounds so much less impressive when you don't say in a row.
Yeah, I think he died like once maybe in that game. Twice. I don't know, really sure.
Yep, feels bad, man. Oh well. For the most part, though, Reckless has been tearing it up. But he's not the only one. Caps, with a little bit of help from Dox, has been doing pretty solid. Let's see what goes down.
This is the Fnatic play. He's hiding in the brush. Shin ulti is ready. This is what's always going to happen when the tower is gone.
But Sven admit Sven has to know this, so he's going to back away. He respects. He doesn't overextend. And as a result, he gets to keep his life.
Yeah, smart man there, Sven. Not going for the bait.
Oh, Mythy gets the pull in, but it's okay. Caps is just able to distort out. Doesn't even get hit by that play. A lot of action in the mid still.
Gunblade is ready for Caps right now. So extra damage, extra sustain, tons of mobility. Will be so annoying to play against, especially because Perks is so weak. He's 2 levels down.
Yeah, he just gets the level 10 up, but still, he needs a lot of time. Sitting on the tier, sitting on the catalyst. He really needs to start stacking those up. Ooh, Perks not giving as good as he's getting. Caps
is just mad. Perks killed his daddy at MSI, and now Caps wants some revenge here.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You never saw The Princess Bride, did you, Deficio?
No.
Ah, okay, that explains it.
I did not.
Well, let's move on. But that's homework for you.
I don't know, is it really?
It's a great movie.
Okay.
Anyways, everyone go shame Deficio on Twitter. Infernal Drake is up. Fnatic, they're in position once again. They really have been all over these Drakes. I mean, we thought we were getting a Clash of Kings. We're getting a Dance with Dragons.
Caps, once again, Pyro.
Oh boy. Oh, Perks. Yep. Gotta be careful, buddy.
So does Riffel, remember Pyro, does Riffel on the Lee Sin, and you really want to use the mid if you can. But whenever they step forward, Caps shoots them in the face. They can't do anything. And instead, Fnatic setting up for this Drake here. Infernal Drake. Trick is around to try and steal it.
Oh boy. Quick flash out. Oh! Trick is able to get it. Now can he get out? No one there. He spends the All right.
I guess it was actually probably expiring. That's why he just had to use it.
If he'd have gotten it out, though.
Man, I'm surprised he didn't just place it in mid earlier and then walk down to try and steal the Dragon.
Well, it would have taken too long. He wouldn't have got there in time.
I know, but like, let's say 5 seconds before, where I'm sure he probably walked around in a circle and could have definitely placed it. So Rift Herald didn't actually get used at all by G2 eSports, and now Fnatic are looking for a top lane play.
Yep. See if they can get it. Expect he's going to have to slice, but the rest of the team is on top of him, stunned up, and nowhere to go. Reckless claims kill number 2.
And it's so quick. You know, a play happens on the bottom side. Instantly, you transition towards the top side.
Perks is locked under tower, trying to clear minions away. Caps just dancing outside the edge of the tower range, able to get a few more pot shots on it. And now Fnatic are in prime position to take out tower number 2 up top. They're starting to control the game. This is what Fnatic like to play. So is even going to TP in to defend bottom side while Sven was pushing the wave on in.
And once again, just like the last game here, we now get that moment where Fnatic have killed the outer turrets on both sides. And Caps going all in.
Flashing in, Caps is able to do it!
Oh, they're so quick when it comes to turning around. Looks so fantastic when they go all in against the Cassiopeia, and then that little sidestep, that means you don't get stunned. And now Caps.
He's going to get punished, though. However, he does have Jez's tagging in. Does Sven have the damage to finish the job? Trick will be the one to do it. G2 turn it right around. They may have destroyed the lane kingdom, but the rest of G2 are standing strong against Fnatic. Trick getting the kick away. They have got it on top of Broxa, but before Trick can take the lantern, Reckless plans his life. Now Sven running and gunning back to his base, but Soaz is right on top of him. A TP's gonna come in from Expect. This fight doesn't end.
No, okay, he canceled. So he's still stuck in a bottom lane trying to get a tower. Fnatic will get mid lane now. It all started with Caps making that massive play against Perks. And now Fnatic have all outer turrets down. They're heading gold. Reckless once again getting tons of kills early on, and he will get his Hurricane soon, and then you just can't stop him in that side lane.
But there's another complication here, Deficio. Caps is also getting big, and he's getting his items, picking up the Fiendish Codex. He's going to work his way up from Relonomicon. He stays a little bit too long here, though.
We missed the 1v1. Anyway, that was a sick one. This is the play. Then after, we see G2 collapsing mid, trying to get a kill, trying to defend the tower. But the problem for them now is that all of Fnatic are on the way to fight here as well. And the stacks on Trick means he can't actually go that aggressive. Obviously, he goes down.
Yep. Chez is on the Braum. Tanky enough, even with the low health bar, and Sven just narrowly gets out of it. And yeah, here's where Expect was like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but now with that TP on cooldown from Expect and Source's ulti is ready just in a few seconds, then suddenly Fnatic can make another play where Expect won't be able to join. I remember also what they like to do is they like to send the cannon to gank a lane. So like Source sits in the lane normally, and here you go, guys. You see Reckless. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go gank this lane, and then the switch around is Reckless sits in the lane and you try and fight him, and then Shen TP's in. There's always ways to try and have Source and Reckless make a play.
Yep, tag and teaming. That's what they do. Fnatic still in the gold lead. I'd say they'd have all the dragons, but Trick did manage to come up with a pretty big steal earlier on. However, there will be another Infernal in the pit, but before that happens, Baron's gonna be up. G2. Do they need to be able to contest it right when it comes up, or is Fnatic going to give it some time?
It's hard to rush it at 20 minutes, especially when your Shen is on the other side, because he's kind of the tank member. There's a fight part. Well, call it a fight.
I mean, well, hold on. Get over here. Coming back in. There we go. Fnatic, they do not take any half measures, but there's a lot of G2 eSports members right on top right now. Sven is going to take down Caps, and G2 are finding the fight they needed. Perks gets himself a kill, and all of a sudden, it's 5v3.
Yeah, Fnatic did not want to fight there because Reckless was on top side, trying to push in that wave here. G2 are actually running straight towards the Baron.
Maybe they're the ones that take it at 20, but hold up, Fnatic, they're sniffing. They're not finding anything,
This is still risky so early in the game. Ulti available from the cannon, rank 2, Hurricane as well. You're all stacked together.
So as around the back, he places a ward in the pit, not going to get vision on the Baron, but Fnatic are looking to collapse. Can they get it in time? They do. And Fnatic, they just don't pull the trigger.
I think Fnatic actually stepped away first, then suddenly realized, okay, G2 actually on the Baron still. Have to walk back in and realize, okay, now it's too low to fully engage with the 3 guys. Full HP on Perks as well. So G2 eSports, what a quick turnaround. We just talked about how everything is set up for Fnatic now to play their style. And then this fight breaks out. Sven takes the 1v1 against Caps. You don't need your team then, and a good engage or stun from Expect. And suddenly, because Kennen was sitting on top lane, Fnatic got caught out. They did not want to take this fight. Favor of G2 and then rushing Baron instantly, clean call. And now we're dead even in gold.
And it's great timing as Infernal's going to come back up in 20 seconds. G2 with the Baron. Let's see what they can get done, trying to push those waves. Only taking 2 outer towers, so you have to think their sights are set on this mid lane. Minions are going to get melted through, though, by Jesus and Soaz, but Fnatic, they got 5 members near the mid here. They don't want to give this dragon up idly or the tower.
Exactly, and they can start playing as 5. We always highlight the Fnatic playstyle is splitting up the enemy team and playing multiple lanes, while G2's playstyle is strong 5-on-5 team fighting. And that's what they're trying to set up with this Baron buff. Reckless sneaking this Infernal Drake.
But there's pressure topside. Expect is pushing the wave on the top. Can Fnatic find the 4v4 fight?
Oh, imagine if you'd used that Rift Hell earlier to at least get some damage on this mid tower. Much easier to then just burn it down now and actually force Fnatic further behind. But Expect will get a top tower with the Baron buff. And when you're taking Infernal Drake with your AD carry, you can't really defend all the lanes at the same time. You have to sacrifice something.
Well, Fnatic are never a team that is afraid of trading objectives if they think it'll help them out.
But now Rex is bot lane again. He's just giving up the mid tower. He just pushed in one wave and then realized, hang on, G2 are not stopping. Why would they stop? The AD carry is gone.
Well, as far as trades go, I think, I may not be a color caster officio, but I would classify that as suboptimal.
Yeah, I think giving away a few towers, never great. Counter argument, just to like, you know.
Yeah, play the devil's advocate, let's see.
Bring up the discussion here. You already gave away early Baron. Could you realistically have defended some of these turrets without a whole lot of wave clear on your side? And is it then almost a small win that you get an Infernal Drake doing that Baron time? I think Reckless and Fnatic said, you know what guys, we can't actually defend these 2 towers. Get something, get some farm, get Infernal Drake, small quote-unquote win. but obviously the fact you lost the Baron in the first place was a pretty big loss.
Yeah.
So you tried to, I guess, get the best out of a really bad situation.
Well, the gold lead is only 1,000 here for G2, despite the fact that they just had a pretty big turret swing on top of the fight that they won and then the Baron. So for Fnatic, even though they're losing it down, let's see if they can make it happen. A lot of people down bottom for G2.
And this is where we really need to see the G2 communication be on point. When you don't see the cannon, always call that he can go to a side lane. Expect it's under his tower.
There we go. Locked up, taunted, and they are layering that CC beautifully right now, but Expect says bring it on! Nearly getting Soaz, but finally he will fall.
Meanwhile, though, G2 eSports getting a tower in the bottom lane, so they are fine taking this trade here. They know, again, the AD carry is not there. Sven straight on this turret.
Easy peasy, he just rat-a-tat-tats away. Yes, I know that's not the name of the ultimate, and he didn't use it. Doesn't matter. Reckless still pushing away up top side.
Tower stayed alive due to Jess's with the shield coming in. Caps is now top lane.
Uh-oh, Perks. Okay, Caps was stopped up for just a second, and before Soaz even arrives, they take out the mid laner, and now Fnatic's up top.
And it's just so unexpected. You don't think the enemy mid laner suddenly runs to the top lane when you're hitting his inhibitor turret in the bottom lane. But out of nowhere, Caps shows up with the Shen ulti. They get another kill and a turret. And that bot lane tower, due to Jess's blocking the damage in the end, stays alive and will get some of that HP back. G2 eSports, while they got towers just before, they suddenly lost out on this trade.
Well, Fnatic able to wrest the gold lead back in their favor. Sven trying for a sneaky play, but there's too many members there, too strong for a moment. Sven really wants to collapse. They're going to commit to this. The teleport is coming in. This will be the long chase for G2, but now it is going to be matched by the teleport. Expect's already finished it. There's 2 TPs here. Fnatic are like, that's okay. You guys want to fight? We're there. Now all of a sudden they find Expect alone and isolated. Throws on the Dominus. Doesn't matter, buddy. Too many members of Fnatic, and inside the Dragon Pit, Broxa claims a kill.
I was about to say, G2 eSports embracing the animal style, but they realized very quickly that they're actually playing Fnatic's game all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. If you try to play that style against Fnatic, more often you look like a boosted animal.
Oh. Oh, the crowd is like, ooh.
I'll take it.
Did he just say that about G2 eSports?
I stand by my opinions in the video. Quote me on it. All right, we got 25 minutes on this clock. Fnatic are back in the lead. The question is, how do they maintain this right now? Perks is not getting any weaker. Sven is not getting any weaker.
No, fair. Gonna take quite some time before Perks is gonna get, any stronger.
Okay, good counterpoint.
But Sven, obviously, yes. Sven is kind of the man we're looking at in the fights. I mean, it's still only 2,000 goal lead, but 5,000 each side. Obviously, only 1 Infernal Drake this time around for Fnatic, not the 3 we saw last game at 30 minutes. So it's still very, very close in terms of the fights. And really, a good fight from Sven can definitely win everything for G2 eSports.
Caps trying his luck at stealing the red buff, but it ends up getting taken away by G2. Nonetheless, Fnatic, they haven't wasted a minute. Honestly, it's entire series, just trying to find little edges, little advantages wherever they can.
Right. The game's actually so hard to cast because so many unexpected things just keep happening. And you can't really sit there and predict being like, oh yeah, of course, Caps is now going to roam from base to top lane to get another kill. And you can't really call these things in advance. And it's the same for the teams in-game because they don't have the vision we have. They have to sit there and talk about all the different possibilities for different roams. And Sven opening up.
He does. Trick, though, he takes a lot of damage off his health bar. Jesus was able to block a bit of Sven's deeps. And Fnatic right back at it again, holding firm in the mid. G2 backing away. There's a minute on the Mountain Drake and 19 seconds on the Baron, but Fnatic are positioning a lot further down bot, at least Soaz is.
Yeah, and they get to push all the lanes even further towards G2 now. You can see top lane, Expect picking that one up. Soul's going to push into bottom lane. No one is actually there to take it from G2 yet. They don't have TP on the
mid, though. Everyone got taken pretty low, but Reckless is going in for round number 2, and Perks is forced to flash the wall. Soaz coming to join the party, dodges away the play, and now G2 have turned on the offensive. They go in onto Soaz, but they don't do nearly enough damage, and G2's health bars are evaporating. They better hurry up on that redemption. They need it. Soaz coming in before he falls to Trick. However, G2 looks like they have ran out of steam. Can't go any further, but Caps, he's ready to go. He wants to get a pick.
Yeah, they got that redemption down just in time, baiting Soaz as well when he go further in. Rex is still full HP. Trick on the side here. Sven also full HP. Really a battle between these two AD carries in the fight. And then you always have to remember the damage Perks can deal despite him being behind. And of course the same for Caps. Level 16 LeBlanc. If you leave him alone in a fight, he will destroy one of the guys on the side of G2. But now to get Mountain Drake on the side of Fnatic will help them for that next Baron that is alive, which of course is the next objective. And when I say that in the Fnatic game, I mean it should be, but then you see the random cannon in the bot lane, and then it's not a Baron to play around all of a sudden.
Definitely a team of opportunists. Here was the replay of Fnatic taking a little low that ended up leading to the fight.
Yeah, Perk still sitting with Summoners, Cleanse and Flash to get out. So this is actually the main engage gone now from Fnatic. Their comp really wants to dive the backline of G2, and it gets a little bit harder for them to play this fight. The rest of G2 can actually step away. The Redemption comes in time, and Source thinks they can just take down Renekton, but the Redemption heal is enough. And then suddenly Source ends up dying for nothing, and Baron is the setup. They need a control ward in the Baron pit, so G2 can't just sit with these wards on the side, popping up. They have one down now. No need to actually kill the other wards in the pit, because then you give away that you're in there.
Fnatic playing it out with the vision in the pit. G2 trying to hold all the fronts right now, but it's clear that they've been pushed back a couple of times. Fnatic trying to keep it that way. They already have an opened inhibitor up on the top side from earlier. G2 do slip up. Fnatic will not hesitate.
Reckless just picks up the red buff now. That means he can actually go and try and kill Expect. And remember when I said before that normally, you play around Baron at this point, and then suddenly Reckless is in the bot lane? It can still happen, and that's why G2 are now playing so respectful. Expect just steps away. Doesn't kill another wave, he just leaves with another thing. I don't know who's showing up. I don't want to risk dying, because my team is not controlling the Baron area, so they can't just rush it down in case I die in the side lane. And that's why he's playing respectful. He's now with the team, and this is what G2 wants. 5 members together, looking for Fnatic.
And they've got Soaz right now, maybe not the one that they want, however they do take a bite out of his health bar.
Yeah, this now means they push Fnatic down so they get access to River. That means they can go in and actually kill the control wards from Fnatic, and they stop that Baron pressure. This is why G2 wants the 5-man grouped. And it's Fnatic who wants to split up game, where you isolate one guy and you kill that one guy, and then you can actually go and take down Baron.
I remember doing our research this week, looking at the matchup ahead. As I'll talk about it later, because Caps wants to go in now, but Sven is having to flash away. Fnatic, they never bring just one guy to the party. They're always rolling 5 dudes deep.
Well, they used Flashy on LeBlanc as well. Caps needs to go back to base. TP is available from him though, so he can always rejoin a fight. Look at some of the wards here. The one Broxah just walks by. But, well, okay. Yeah, he kills it. I was about to say that could have been a TP location for Expect. Oh, he left it.
All right. Warning
Mind
shot.
games. Now he knows. I know where you're going to TP.
Next level strategies out of Fnatic for sure. As I was going to say before the fight broke out, thinking about this match leading up into the week, it seemed that the question on our minds was always, does Fnatic have the ability to kind of match G2's macro? And we seem to think it wasn't going to be the case, but honestly, they've just kept G2 on their toes 2 games in a row now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a difference in playstyle. Fnatic is not based around the slow and steady macro that other teams are looking, to play that kind of style where it's the perfect game.
Yeah, that's not a gold lead that comes from slow and steady.
Exactly. This is not slow and steady, and this is not perfect game. This is not the SKT of League of Legends. It is very much we will keep forcing plays in the side lanes against you and constantly surprise you that way, where G2 wants to play the more slow and steady style, which is why a game where G2 will not fall behind early game and they can actually control the pace, that's how they beat Fnatic normally. But in this series here, we've actually seen them fall behind in some of these games, and that's why they've been kind of pushed really far back, and they've been caught a few times. But they've actually managed to keep up pretty well in this game here, also with that Baron rush 20 minutes. Very important play from them, and it's still so close, and it starts going more and more in favor of the Twitch and the Cassiopeia the further we get into this game, because it's based on 5-on-5 team fighting, where these 2 champions really shine.
That's exactly what G2 want. Last game only went to about this point in time, so Fnatic are going to have a bit of a longer one as Caps goes in, and it's a few more members of G2 than he bargained for. A little low on the health right now. Does not want to take the engage, and meanwhile, so as an Expect, they're just dueling it out on the bottom side, but top laners be top laners wherever they go.
Exactly, and I Expect once again is leaving the lane every single time, not risking a gank. You also have to remember, even a Caps could show up bot lane and then TP to the Baron. It's all a fight for mid lane control. Both teams are just pushing mid, towards each other. Now Reckless actually really deep here with the rest of Fnatic. Behind them, G2 eSports.
Cut off G2 though, is it going to be enough? Meanwhile, Caps looks for Sven, but who's catching who? Roxa tags in and he can't even get the job done. Redemption comes down to keep Sven nice and healthy, and meanwhile, Caps and Jezzes are gonna have to take the retreat path while Soaz is all pushing bot.
But G2 can go Baron now because Broxah needs to go back to base. No TP on him. He's actually staying for a potential steal. G2 should just start the Baron straight away and then force a fight around it or secure it.
Well, it's going right now, but we're watching Soaz farming.
Let's watch the Baron instead.
Let's go back to the Baron. There we go. I like this channel better. Down it goes, and now they've got a hook onto Jezzes. Stunned up for days, and they will take him down. It's another kill over to Perks, and now Reckless isolated, but he's bringing the Shen. Soaz comes in just in time to nail a two-man taunt, but Mithy, Trick, and Expect are unperturbed. That Croc is huge. It's a shutdown now for Perks, and Soaz is all alone. He has to flash into Raptors, joined by Broxah, but G2 get that fight on top of the Baron.
Yeah, as we talked about here, G2 eSports, 5-man together near the mid lane, near the Baron is exactly how they want to play this game. Every time Caps jumped in to try and create a pick or get some poke down, he took more damage in return and needed to step back out. And in the end, Fnatic just got completely split up, and Soaz is trying to escape. Broxah is also here.
Trying to sidestep it out, zigging and zagging, but G2 are having none of that, just wailing on him right now while Brox is pushed out from Sven, and Soaz finds a taste of Fnatic's own medicine. G2 Gang Squad coming through, and now it's Infernal Drake.
We're blessed with Infernal Drakes in this series.
It's a Drake-a-Palooza, Deficio.
I like it. It means more damage in team fights. That's all we need. Fnatic realizing now 5-on-5s are difficult to play.
Just a little bit.
They don't have the Baron buff this time around, so it's time to fully unleash the crazy playstyle. This is just from before. We were watching Shen kill the tower, but there's really not a whole lot Fnatic can do.
G2 place Ward in the back of the pit, or behind it rather.
Exactly. G2 now second Baron of the game, same kind of setup. They find and engage, they win the fight, they then take the Baron, and this is how they try to win the game. Because now once again, they can control that it's going to be 5-on-5s.
Yeah, they don't need any fancy flanks. They can just keep 5 members in there, start knocking down defenders one by one by one, and Fnatic couldn't do much about it. So all the dust is cleared. G2 have got themselves a gold lead, about 2,000 or so as we get 35 minutes into this game. But also critically, they have that Infernal Dragon, so they've got a whole lot of damage to answer what Fnatic are bringing. And now they themselves have a big wave to work with bot to try and finish off that inhibitor turret.
2 Gargoyle Storm Plates on the front lines. Very good to get some extra HP when you jump into a fight.
Oh yeah.
Where your job is basically to buy time for Perks and Sven to just sit there and spam away so much damage.
Fnatic's going to have to be careful if they can't break through those stone plates. As G2 are looking to finish off this tower down on the bot. Caps is going to be joining. It will be a 5-on-5. Perks. Chains Ronnie's rooted. Redemption instantly. Not taking any chances now, but Perks is licking his wounds a bit. See if they can keep it going right now. Hook is going to find Jezzes. Is that who they want? It doesn't look like it, as Perks immediately spends his ultimate to try and scare off Fnatic. But it's not going to be enough to finish the turret just yet. Yeah,
right now Fnatic are waiting for cooldowns on Caps. Whenever his full rotation is ready, they can go for some of these plays where they poke down Perks or maybe Sven. Ideally Perks, because he doesn't, right now, sit as far back as the AD carry. And meanwhile, G2, they're hoping they can actually get a few hits on tower in between these cooldowns from the blind. You see now, the blind cooldowns are gone, they can go for a play.
They got it, opened it up, and now they're able to find one kill onto Jezzes. Down he goes as the rest of Fnatic are running scared back. In goes Trick, but he's taunted up right inside of the Nexus turrets. However, just enough of a distraction for G2 to finish off the inhibitor, the first of the game, and it took 37 minutes to get there. G2 are going to get in, G2 are going to get out, but Fnatic, they're not going to let them do it easily.
Oh, risky recalls right there. Realizing also, okay, let's cancel it. Don't want to leave one man behind who gets killed, and then suddenly you are a man down.
Don't want to let the tempo turn, not when G2 have managed to claw back into this game. We have seen the gold lead swing up and down, but here is the play again. It was a long, long commitment to try and get that tower, but they did it.
Yeah, they just played extremely safe. They don't want to risk Fnatic finding a flank when G2 all-ins for tower, so it is that slow and steady style, just smart play to secure the objective. Get the bot inhib as well. Item-wise, QSS now completed for Sven, making it even harder to actually take him down. You have enough tanky items on Expect, and he's gonna go for GA as well with that BF sword, and then killing him in a fight gets almost becomes impossible.
Yeah, and not to mention, after the early game setbacks, Perks just got pretty darn big. A lot of it was off the back of the Baron fight, but he's hard to kill at this point, and Caps is finding out the hard way that late game damage, and Cassiopeia definitely hurts, but Sven's also doing the same. I mean, you look at the item builds right now. He's working his way towards what I assume is going to be the Death Cap, but he's got a Banshees. That changing helps so much for Perks because he's got a way to block things out. But who doesn't have a way to block it anymore, unfortunately, is Soaz. As he was in front of the door, and it just got kicked down. G2 are looking for inhib number 2.
So they're going to get it. They know Caps is sitting in there on the top side. I'm not really too afraid of him. They're actually going for more.
Trick wanted Broxa, follows him in. Caps trying to find an angle, but the inhibitor is going to fall. G2 turn around, and Expect goes right into the Vengeful Maelstrom, knocked up by Jez's now, but there just isn't enough damage, and Sven melts through that unbreakable shield. G2 inside the Fnatic base, and only Caps is posing a threat, but not anymore. Expect goes in to finish the job, and with only Broxa Reckless here to defend, I don't see this one lasting much longer.
I agree, Pyra here. They have some minions coming bot lane as well with some super minions. They're going straight for the Nexus turrets.
Oh boy, G2 eSports have awoken. Come at the Kings, you best not miss, and that's what they say for this game. Perks is taking down Reckless, and that's the Nexus. G2 eSports firing back, and boy, do we have a series on our hands.
And let's be real, this is the dream, Pyra. We get, the classic Fnatic playstyle, and then we get the G2 style to try and counter it, much more control, try and play as 5 around this mid lane. Yeah, we're trying to counter some of these aggressive moves. And we get a third game as well. It looked pretty bad at certain moments for G2 when they were under so much pressure, losing all 3 out of turrets. But at 20 minutes, when they get that fight near the mid lane, while Reckless is busy split pushing, which turns into a quick Baron, great call from G2 to secure the Baron. That's when they caught up so much and actually got a lot of gold back to try and keep the game even.
Yeah, but man, is it nice to see a team in the regular split challenging G2 on the level that Fnatic have. Not only getting that game number 1, but then that early game, it looked so much like Fnatic's game. G2 pumped the brakes, slowed it down, were able to stop them. Remember, there was a point where Fnatic were just melting through carries and almost took out top inhibitor. And then all of a sudden, G2 were like, okay, all right, here's what we're gonna do.
Enough is enough.
We're just going to take the fight to them. 5v5, that's how it works in Fnatic. They're going to have to find answers for that third game.
Yeah, and we saw some of those adaptations we often see in a best of 3 when you play against the same team is you stop getting caught as much in the side lanes the further you go into the game. Like, Expect would leave the bot lane early, just be like, I'm not going to risk a random Kennen showing up here or LeBlanc.
Well, he got a little scared after the TP kind of backfired.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. His own TP backfired when he tried to play the Fnatic style, funny enough. But they started, respecting it a lot, and Fnatic, so late in the game, it's really hard to win through pure split push. You almost always have to get a kill into a Baron and use that then to close out the game. And we didn't see G2 actually die late in the game. Yeah. We saw them play as a group, respect the engage that could happen from Fnatic, and respond really well.
Yeah, the positioning was almost perfect. I mean, they knew exactly what to do with Sven and Perks. The Gargoyle Stoneplate, Renekton, yeah, pretty hard to kill.
Yeah.
It's nice to see late game Renekton getting some respect.
I mean, late game Renekton, obviously, he's not the same powerhouse he is early game, but he's perfectly fine.
Now he's able to trade in his weapons for a little bit more armor, and he stands hugely firm.
Still offers a stun. Still offers decent damage against an 80 carry. It's not bad.
Well, and Soaz this time wasn't really able to do as much on his TPs. He came in on top of Reckless a few times, even in that fight, and it didn't really matter. They were like, oh, well, he's got Shen, but we've got a fight that we already won.
And while it was a tough game, G2 just beat Reckless and his Kennen.
Yes, he did. So the streak is over. There's still a lot on the line right now for Fnatic and G2 as they're getting ready for the decider game. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're going to find out, do G2 fire back?
So what replays do we have now?
Are they ready to go?
Zero
replays.
replays.
Fnatic going to make this day a 2-0.
Very important for Cassiopeia.
Oh, flashing forward, not enough damage to finish the job, but Caps is able to do it.
Now get that moment where Fnatic have killed the outer turrets on both sides. And Caps going all in.
Flashing in, Caps is able to do it.
Nice
job.
Okay, we get it now. Reckless isolated, but he's bringing the Shen. Soaz comes in just in time to nail a 2-man taunt, but Mithy, Trick, and Expect are unperturbed. That Croc is huge. It's a shutdown now for Perks. Come at the Kings, you best not miss, and that's what they say for this game. Perks is taking down Reckless, and
And that's the Nexus. G2 eSports firing back. And boy, do we have a series on our hands.